All right, so recently, over the last 12 to 18 months, I coached three realtors that absolutely blew up their business because they understood how to leverage the time on their schedule. Most realtors, as you can see right here, don't sell any real estate. You probably know someone, a coworker, that is not selling real estate, yet they're trying as hard as they can. Or maybe you are trying as hard as you can, but you can't seem to scale. Well, there's three realtors that I've coached recently that blew up because they understood what a top producer's schedule should look like. For example, Billy in Alabama, he had worked with multiple groups, multiple coaching platforms, and could not go full time. Well, after 4 months of working with me and dialing in his daily schedule, he not only went full time, but now he's one of the top three realtors in Alabama based off of volume. Absolutely incredible turn of events because he mastered his schedule. Then you have Israel out in Arizona. After 4 or 5 months of working with me, he had a stretch of 90 days where he made $100,000, and then he almost made $100,000 the fourth month in 1 month because all we did was we tweaked different parts of his schedule, and he blew up. And then there's William. William, I had the honor of working with one-on-one. He's in Indiana. He now runs his own team of realtors locally and all over the United States. The first year of working with him, he sold 57 homes as a first-year realtor. Why? Again, because he understood how to leverage the schedule. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to break down what it looks like to go make $250,000 to $500,000 as a realtor in the real estate industry by leveraging your daily schedule. This is the number one thing that I see. I've probably talked to you and we've done a free consultation over Zoom, or I've probably talked with some of your coworkers about this topic. And I'm telling you, it always comes down to which realtor can not only pay attention, but can be focused. Over the next couple weeks, the first quarter, if you haven't been watching, I'm doing a 12 video series here on the Zoom whiteboard, and I'm breaking everything down so you can go build a $500,000 business as a realtor. The first episode, we went over the different principles you have to master going into the year. The second YouTube episode, which is last week's, we talked about the business plan, how to go build a business plan to be focused so that you're intentional throughout the year. And today's topic is now how do you take that business plan and put it into your schedule. The realtors that master this are the ones that blow up. I've been doing this for a long time, not only in my own business, when I was a religious professor, when I got in door-to-door sales and I was top 1% nationwide, when I got into real estate, and then obviously now that I run Davis Sales Training, it always came down to my ability to time block, to organize things by priority and importance, but then also understanding that my values had to show up as well so I don't lose myself or lose my family or the things that matter most. All these realtors that I've been working with that have had exceptional growth all mastered this as well. So this is an incredible topic. We have a massive lesson to go through. Hopefully over the next 15 to 20 minutes, I want you to take notes on what are you doing or what should you be doing that would allow you to grow or scale faster in regards to your schedule. We're going to talk about things that should be on your schedule. We're going to talk about things that should not be on your schedule. So I want you to kind of follow along and really try to figure out how can you scale quicker this year. Now, if you want a free consultation, I've done this for so many realtors. Last year, I think I did over 500 free consultations. Call me or shoot me a DM on Instagram, or on this video, comment free consultation and then DM me. And we'll hop on and I'll pick apart your business and see if I can give you some free assistance. There are realtors all over the world that are commenting all over my YouTube videos. There's 219 last year that sold 2 or more homes that have messaged me because of what they found on YouTube, or they reached out for a free consultation. So if you see something in this video that you realize you need help with, comment free consultation and then shoot me a DM on Instagram and I'm more than happy to help you. But most of these realtors that really scaled aggressively. It all came down to the schedule. Take Brandon, for example. Brandon had done one business deal transaction as a realtor in 6 months. Started working with me. We tweaked his business plan, tweaked his schedule as a part-time realtor, and he 15x'd his business in 12 months. Absolutely incredible. And all these realtors have had similar stories. So that's what we're going to go over today. Let's jump into it. All right, so if you haven't followed along the last 2 episodes, I'd recommend you pause this video, go back and watch the previous 2 because, like I said, we talked about business plan and how to build it. Then we talked about the 7 principles of what you need to focus on this year. And now your business should essentially look like this. If you've gone through this packet, you should have your business plan ready to go. You know what prospecting pillars you're going to have this year, what non-negotiables you're going to have every week, all lined out. You're going to have meaning behind it. You're going to have a vision board with dates that you're going to accomplish them. And then your quarterly calendar, your yearly calendar, and your schedule should be all dialed in at the end of this video. So these 3 videos, this part of the business plan should be completely done. Now, if you didn't get this packet last time, then go comment 2026 business plan down below in this YouTube video, and I'll make sure I get that out to you. It's a 55-page workbook that will take the last 2 episodes and this one and simplify it as much as we can. Now, if you like these types of trainings, if you remember, about a month and a half ago, 2 months, I started doing free trainings every week on Tuesday. They're 30 minutes live on a Zoom call. We have almost 100 realtors in that group, and we take a realtor that just put a deal under contract, and then we train on how to replicate that the next 72 hours. If you want to get into that group, then comment free worldwide training below, then DM me, and then I'll go ahead and get you in there. It's completely free. Yesterday we went over social media conversion, and it was awesome. It was a really, really good call. We actually did it for 45 minutes because there's so much content for free that we had to go through. All right, let's break this down. So why are we talking about schedule? Why is this the third? Why are we taking one of the 12 episodes to talk about this? Well, most of the time, realtors don't really know what they're trying to accomplish, and that's why they don't accomplish it. If we go back to the statistic that I showed at the beginning, that's why 71% of realtors in 2024 didn't sell a single home. It's not that hard to get into the top 1% worldwide. All you got to do is sell about 15, 20 homes a year, and it's a lot easier than you think. But what happens is there's no passion behind it, and there's no plan, there's no focus or intention. And then when I look at realtors' schedules, you can obviously tell that they don't know what they're doing. They're just shooting the breeze and guessing. There's so much luck and chance in their business, and I can see that on their schedule. So the schedule is really going to tell me whether or not you're focused and intentional from your business plan, and whether or not you're passionate about it from your vision board. So let's take a look at this. If you look at this progression, I've always pointed this out, that you have realtors that sell 0 to 3 homes, then there's a group that does 3 to 12, then you have the 12 to 50, and then obviously 50 and above. When you get to this point, it's more so just gas on the fire. You already know how to do the business. You just need to put more into it, and you do more business. But back here, this is where a lot of realtors struggle, and a lot of it comes down to the schedule. Their schedule is all over the place. It's not organized. There's no time blocking. You can't tell if they're practicing or not. They're not role playing. Who knows what type of prospecting pillars they have in their business. It's really just complete guesswork, and they're just shooting the breeze, showing up to the office, and hopefully they get a deal or 2. Very, very different compared to those that grow and scale very fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this today. How do you go build this type of a schedule? So as we go through this, there's a free packet that I have, about 15, 20 pages, and it's called the Top Producer Schedule Outline. So at some point in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to drop the keyword. Make sure you watch that. And everything we go over right now will be in that workbook. Make sure you pay attention. Okay, and as we go through this, remember, if you want a free consultation, comment free consultation below. Shoot me a DM. I'm more than happy to do this with you on a one-on-one basis. I know a lot of you and your coworkers are part-time. You have unique schedules. Trust me, I've coached all of them. Rachel was out in California. She's got kids. She was part-time. She has a husband, and we were able to build her schedule to a point where in her first year she did about 20 to 30 million in volume because we took the time to build this together. All right, so let's jump into this. Now, if you want extra help outside this YouTube video, these would be the books that I'd go read. The Science of Scaling by Benjamin Hardy, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the first couple chapters by Stephen Covey, How We Measure Life, and then the 5 Types of Wealth. All right, so let's take a look at this. What we're going to do is we're going to build this together. Let's say that you're just the average realtor. There's nothing super unique about your schedule. You're not part-time, you're full-time. You don't really have a ton of responsibilities. You have kids, you have a spouse, maybe you're religious going to church. That's the avatar that we're going to use to build the schedule for. If you have any other type of unique scenario, then comment free consultation below and we'll walk you through this. This is literally what your schedule should look like. We'll get to that point, okay? So when you look at your schedule, there's 3 things that you have to put on there. The first one are your values. Your values first need to go into your schedule. You need to learn to live a value-driven life. Why? How many people do you know that are in sales or real estate, that are divorced, that are bankrupt, that have horrible relationships with their kids or their family members, or they're in trouble with the law? It happens all the time in sales because the grind culture, you forget the things that matter most. So when I work with realtors, I have them pick this apart on the things that matter most to them. Financially, physically, mentally, socially, and their time wealth. What are the things that matter most to you? Is it your spouse, your kids, religion, community work? What is it? For me, most of you that have followed me understand that mine is always going to be God, self, spouse, kids, community, and work. So for me, I need to put that into my calendar first, okay? The second principle is you got to grow your business. So your schedule has to have a system in place to grow your business. So if you've read any of Alex Hormozi's stuff, he talks about how the number one issue or objective you have every day is to go from obscurity to awareness. So you need to take all your prospecting pillars and put them into your schedule. There are 4 main focuses to grow your business, to scale it, that you have to do every day as a non-negotiable. If you don't, you won't have a foundation. You'll get to a point in 12 months where you haven't done the business you wanted to because every day you weren't taking your business seriously. You weren't scaling aggressively. So there's 4 things that have to go in your calendar. 1 is prospecting. For 4 hours a day, you got to do it. Otherwise, it'll take forever for you to take off. The second one is follow up. You have to follow up with your leads. The third one is get better. The rule of 100, if you know this, states that if you were to do something for 18 minutes a day, compounded over 100 hours, so usually about a year, you would be better than 95% of realtors in your area. Now, real estate literally is an industry off of skill. It's a skill-based industry. If you're getting better and you're more skilled, more homeowners, investors, and buyers are going to work with you. The fourth thing is you got to take care of yourself. You're your greatest asset. Obviously, that should be part of your values, but you got to be in your schedule. And then the last one is real estate is a game of distraction, avoiding distractions. If you can identify what are my distractions and what's my plan to avoid them, then you'll do really, really well. What happens, like Elon Musk says in this quote, a lot of realtors, they're prioritizing or optimizing things that shouldn't exist because they're distracted. They're running errands, they're working in Canva, they're doing newsletters, they're dropping off flyers, things that a CEO of a business, which we all are as 1099 independent contractors, they would never do. But because we're so distracted and we think that we're busy, that shows up in our schedule and overruns our schedule. There's a great quote from Hormozi that I've got right here. He says, "My father used to tell me a focused fool can accomplish more than a distracted genius." So your most valuable asset isn't your time, it's your attention. A man with time and distractions will always lose to a man with a deadline and a singular focus. All right, so the goal is to create a schedule that has focus. So the first thing we're going to do every time I work with a realtor is we're going to take the compound effect and we're going to do what is called bookending your days. So right here, we're going to bookend our day. So if you haven't heard of this term before, essentially what he's talking about is most of the day you can't really control. Real estate is just such a crazy industry where there's all sorts of things that are going off. You got customers that need you. You have to prospect. Your family needs you. A deal is blowing up. There's just so many things outside your control. So what you have to do is you have to bookend your day with a morning routine and a nightly routine. It's almost like you're putting these like pillars into your business so that you can grow aggressively. And if you do that, then that will help you stay neutralized in what you're trying to accomplish. And so the most important thing here is to make sure that you have some type of morning routine. If you go to bed stressed, if you don't have a nightly routine, then you're going to wake up stressed. If you wake up stressed and you don't address it, then guess what? All day you're going to be distracted, you're going to procrastinate, and you're going to just feel this anxiety constantly. Well, we don't want that to happen. So what you do is I'd recommend you go get Miracle Morning and you put that into your morning routine right there. So Miracle Morning has a program called Savers. And every morning you're going to wake up and you're going to go through the Savers program. You're going to journal, you're going to visualize, exercise, you're going to scribe, text someone that you appreciate, and so forth. You're essentially setting yourself up to have intention and focus for the day. I like to sit down and write my top 10 goals in life. What are the most important goals so that I can have focus and attention for the day? Then at night, you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to have a nightly routine where you audit the day and you ask yourself what went well, what didn't go well, and how can I improve? There are 3 things that you should audit every day. You, how are you doing? How is your day? Are you okay? The second one, your business. Did I prospect? Did I do these 4 things right here? Did I get better? Did I prospect? Did I follow up with my leads? Did I take care of my values? Yes or no? And then I'm going to forecast and visualize tomorrow. Now, if you don't have a morning routine, you don't have a nightly routine, then go ahead right now in the video and comment morning routine and DM me on Instagram, or nightly routine and DM me on Instagram. And I'll get these booklets out to you. They're completely for free. It'll help you build your morning and nightly routine. So this all comes from Darren Hardy. This is all him. He's the author of Success Magazine. He's written The Compound Effect. I recently gave this book out to everybody that came to the mastermind in Utah that I host quarterly for those on the brokerage team and in the coaching group. And it's just so important that you learn to like bookend your day. You've got to have these like stabilizers so that when the storms come, you have this control to kind of manage that storm. All right. The second thing is you're always going to put your values into your business or into your schedule first. So this little pink box is going to represent our values. So for me, God always goes first. So in my morning routine right here, I've got scripture study and prayer. So every morning I'm going to put in scripture study and prayer. And to me, that's going to be my time with God. And I'm going to make sure that I get that every single day. It's going to go right there. And then also at night, I'm going to make sure that I pray and that I communicate with God and end the day with a scripture study. So now my values of being religious and putting God first are in my calendar. Now all you have to do is show up, follow the calendar, and I'll be in a good place with God. The second value system that I have is me. So in my morning routine, I need to make sure that I add time for me. So I'm going to put like right here, I'm going to go put time at the gym to take care of my body. I'm going to study, listen to a podcast, and journal, right? Do my Savers program. So for me, I'm taken care of every day. I'm a priority right when I get up, and I can follow my Savers program. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over and we're going to go to the next value. So the next value for me is spouse. So right here at night, and then on Friday nights for 3 hours, we're going to have, There we go. We're going to have on Fridays, we're going to have a date night, but every night right here, we're going to put time with spouse. So for me, this could be playing board games, gossiping, or sorry, not gossiping. What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, talking about conspiracies with my with my wife. We're gonna be passionate. We're gonna talk about our kids, do a nightly planning. But if you don't put your spouse there and you're married, then what will happen is time will pass, and then all of a sudden you'll be so distant from each other that it'll catch both of you off guard, and it'll kind of be, in a sense, too late. So I'm gonna put spouse on there. Then what's my next value? My next value is gonna be my kids. So in the morning, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add my kids. So now for me, what I do is I try and wake up my kids and I have 30 minutes of dad time. And if you've been to my house or you've watched me do this on my Instagram stories, I always will play with them in the backyard. We'll play a board game. We eat breakfast together. We read scriptures as a family. We pray as a family. And that's kind of how we start our day. So that's my time with kids, right? So on a schedule, I make sure that I get time with them. Now at night, the other thing that I do as a dad is I make sure that when I can, I put them to bed, kids to bed, and tell or read a story. So again, right here, I can take care of my kids and my relationship with them. Because it's on my schedule, I know that I can compound that over time. And it's a focus of mine. All right, so now we're all the way down to community. So depending on the sports season, I coach several teams every soccer season and basketball season. So usually right here, my evenings will be completely blocked off. It depends on the season. And then I go down all the way to the end and I've got work. So now we're getting to the point where we go over here and we look at work. How am I going to scale my business? But before you do that, remember, your values should be in your calendar as much as you can. If you can do that, then the things that matter most will compound in a good way over time. So now I'm going to look at prospecting, getting better, follow up, and the getting better. Okay, so right here I'm going to look at this, and there's 2 times that I should have on here where I'm getting better. If you're not getting better, then I can guarantee you that your competition is, because I'm training them, and trust me, they're getting better. So every realtor, in my opinion, every morning should role play twice a day. Now, if you don't have a role play group, I run role play. You can comment role play down below in the video, and I will get you the link to either get into coaching. It's $250 a month. We role play twice a day, or you can go to the brokerage team and in coaching, and it's completely free. And we role play twice a day. We do database calls, physical and expireds, door knocking. We do objections, all those types of calls in the morning. And then in the afternoon, we always do listing presentation. But I'm telling you, if you're not getting better, your competition is, and that's why you're losing business. Now, the other time in the day when you should be getting better is your study. You should take 45 minutes a day, and you should ask yourself, what skill do I need right now to close more business? Let's say it was people skills. Great. So what I'm going to do is for 45 minutes a day after lunch, maybe after the role play, I'm going to get a book, or I'm going to watch a YouTube video, something that will help me get better over time at that skill that I need to fix right there in the moment. If you can compound that over time, just like the rule of 100 that I stated earlier, then what will happen is you'll become better than 95% of realtors in your market because you got better over time. Now, it might not seem like a lot to read for 45 minutes. And are you going to get smarter in a day or two? No. In 7 days, 2 weeks, a month? No. But over a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 100%. 100%. So just let that compound over time. So there's my times that I'm getting better. So I've got that booked into my schedule. Now I'm going to go look at prospecting. So let's say in my prospecting schedule, so if we go all the way up here, if you remember when you built your business plan, you had to pick which prospecting methods am I going to put into my business plan? So now I'm going to go put it down here. If you're wanting to explode aggressively, let me take this color, then everybody should be calling FSBO and expireds for an hour a day. It's the lowest hanging fruit, no matter your market. And on those free Tuesday worldwide free trainings that I do, we train every so often FSBO and expireds. And there are realtors I'm working with that are signing expireds left and right. William, who I trained out in Indiana, blew up with this approach. And that's how he was able to get to 57 homes, was because he prioritized this on his schedule every day. All right, so now, remember, we need 4 hours, so that's only an hour. So now I'm going to do database outreach. So now my calendar, Monday through Friday, I've got it on here to reach out to database calls. And if you've been on my Tuesday free calls, remember there's 3 different type of reasons you would call your database. I just got a listing, I have an A qualified buyer, or the third one is I'm looking for a referral. All right, the third one in your morning schedule right here is every day, and obviously it won't match the times, but you should be done by about 11:30. But let's say the third one is going to be lead follow-up or build your investor database. Why? Because every investor buys 2 to 3 homes a year. All you need is 4 of them, and that's 8, 12 deals a year with 4 clients. So there you go. That's your morning. So your morning's done. Now, remember, you have to decide what else are you going to do? What is in your business plan? This is where everything becomes so unique. If you're going to door knock, then the best time to door knock is called prime time. That's going to be between 5 and 7 p.m. So on my schedule right here, I'm going to come put door knock, and I'm going to pick the area the night before in my nightly routine, but boom, there it is. Or maybe you do open houses. So you have open houses in the evening. Now, what do you do right here? What happens right here? In my opinion, from all the top producers that I've seen and that I've consulted and worked with and shadowed and been coached by, right here, you want to have a block of time. And this is where you do your listing appointments or show homes. Now, let's say you don't have any appointments or you don't have any buyers that you're showing homes to. Well, what do you do right there? You keep prospecting. That's what you do. Because you need to build the business. Now, let's say you prospected your 4 hours for the day. You don't have your open house for another 2 or 3 hours. Then remember, your family matters more than anything. There's nothing more important than what happens between the walls of your home. So right here, there might be some days, depending on your nightly planning, remember it all comes back to your nightly planning, that I'm able to have dinner with the family. Sometimes you'll be able to have it, sometimes you won't. But usually right there, between that afternoon, evening activity, you're able to go and have time with your family. So if you look at this right here, look at how I'm getting better every day. Then look at how I'm prospecting every day. I'm getting out of obscurity every day. And then look at my relationships and the things that matter most to me. Look what's happening. Those are getting taken care of. So what happens is because I've prioritized what are called the Pareto principles, I took all these topics, myself, prospecting, follow-up, getting better, and values, and I found the 1 or 2 things that allow those to get better over time. So I didn't overwhelm my schedule or burn out. I took 1 or 2 things that are the most bang for my buck on those categories, and I put them into my schedule. Now all you're going to do right here is now you follow the schedule. That's it. Your schedule should not change 99% of the time. It should be the exact same. Nothing changes. The realtors that have that type of a schedule are the ones that scale aggressively. The realtors that have no idea what they're doing in 2 days, they have no idea what's happening tomorrow or next week, they usually don't sell more than the 0 to 3 or the 3 to 12, and that's how they're out of the business within 2 years. This is literally it. It's the ability to design the schedule. Now, I promised you this workbook. If you made it this far and you want this workbook, then you're going to comment top producer schedule. And then you're going to DM me on Instagram, and I'll get you this workbook so you can go and build this. Now, a couple things to wrap up this episode. I'd recommend you go get Jesse Itzler's Big Ass Calendar. It's one of the most recommended things that I give out to realtors. So they have a travel size one, and then they also have a big ass calendar. Literally, it's huge. It'll fill your entire wall in your office. And then I would go get the Agent Planner Pro, this workbook. Those three things, as long as you can stay focused on the things that matter most and growing and scaling your business over time, and it's always top of mind, you're always looking at the calendar, you're looking at your schedule, then you'll aggressively grow. Now, the last thing I want to recommend that you put on your schedule is to do an audit every Sunday. It's called weekly planning. If you've been following me on Instagram, you probably see me do this all the time, but you should once a week sit down for 2 hours and audit the entire past week. Remember, what are we auditing? We're auditing you. Are you okay? Your business, did it scale last week? And then your schedule. You're going to go look at your schedule, and did I keep this to a T or did I not? Are there things I need to tweak, or are there things that I don't need to tweak? A realtor that I'm working with that's in Kansas City, Frankie, he needed a lot of help building his schedule, and I helped him, and we went back and forth for almost a month and a half to tweak this. But he's got an expired listing he just closed. Last year, he doubled his business from the previous year, and it's because he keeps trying to get closer and closer and closer on nailing a schedule that he can maintain over time. So if you want this packet, comment top producer schedule down below, and I'll shoot that out to you. So do you see the difference as we wrap up today's episode? Do you see why realtors are not closing deals? Do you see why realtors are burning their relationships while they're getting in trouble with the law, while they're going bankrupt? It's because they're not putting their values into the schedule, and then they're not putting a plan to aggressively scale their business. Now, over the next 9 episodes, we're going to now deep dive into outbound prospecting, social media, YouTube. We're going to talk about being efficient. What do you outsource? What do you not outsource? What do you offload from your schedule? Because if you saw in here, I don't have any room in here to do paperwork. There's no room in there to do any type of errands or sign delivery or signatures. And so we're going to talk about that. And then we're also going to talk about what skills to prioritize this year, what books to read. So that, again, the whole goal of all this is for you to go make $500,000 or build a business that repeats that over and over and over again. So comment for all the keywords. There's lots of free packets that I can give to you from today's episode. I would love that if you shared this with your real estate friends. If you have any questions, follow me on Instagram, shoot me a DM. Next week's episode will be really, really good. We're going to talk about outbound prospecting, exposure, how to go get all these leads for free. So you don't have to be tied to a brokerage team where you're giving 50% of all your commissions all year or paying for leads that never convert. You're definitely going to want to make sure you catch that one. And I promise it'll be really good. Okay, we'll see you next week. And thanks a ton for watching this one on how to build a schedule that makes you $500,000 a year.